Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Today is our last lesson, because I think tomorrow you all start school again, right? It's only for the holidays. So I think today is the last lesson. Let us announce it. Okay, I think so. Correct. Are you all starting school tomorrow? Right, just in Singapore. Are you resuming school? Yes, school tomorrow. Are you all? All having
Yes.
school tomorrow? Yes, inshallah. Okay. Right, so
Yes.
which means that today is the last day of the class school. Right. Today is the last day. I thought you have one more week of holidays. I didn't know tomorrow you have school. I really thought there's one more week of holidays. But then somebody told me that no, you all actually start school tomorrow. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, come, let's take our siwak. Let's
Yeah.
just siwak, 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 siwak. Okay, and make sure you have all your 7 things, right? Be in wudu, have your siwak, nice smells, atar or air freshener or bukhur or yalah, so there's nice smells, and then cover your aurat. I be respectful on the chat, inshallah. And face the qibla. Are you all face the qibla? Face the qibla and write good notes. Okay, write good notes right in your notebook. Okay, let us start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli wa sallim. No. Siwak doa first. Allahumma bayyid bihi asnani wa thabbit bihi وشد به لساتي وأفصح به لساني وثبت به لهاتي وأفصح به لساني وأثبني عليه وبارك لي فيه يا رب العالمين آمين. Okay, tamam. Do your tongue. Okay, let's do the salawat, okay? Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Tayyib al-Mutayyab al-Habib al-Muqarrab wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ballighna bijahihi kulla maqsudin wa matlab. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Tayyib al-Mutayyab al-Habib al-Muqarrab wa ala آله وصحبه وبلغنا بجاهه كل مقصود ومطلب. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد الطيب المطيب الحبيب المقرب وعلى آله وصحبه وبلغنا بجاهه كل مقصود ومطلب. Okay. Let's read our Fatiha first. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نوينا تعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين آمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني والمشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني والمشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني والمشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. We are continuing. No, let's do our zikr first. Okay. Dhul Hijjah. We are still in Dhul Hijjah, the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Let us do our La ilaha illallah. Okay. Bismillah. Everybody's do together. Okay. In your houses, try your best to follow. Okay. I know I do a bit fast, but you can try your best to follow. Okay. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. La ilaha illallah. Arra layali wa duhur. La ilaha illallah. عدد الأيام والشهور. لا إله إلا الله. عدد أمواج البحور. لا إله إلا الله. عدد أضعاف الأجور. لا إله إلا الله. عدد قطر المطر. لا إله إلا الله. عدد أوراق الشجر. لا إله إلا الله. عدد الشعر والوبر. لا إله إلا الله. عدد الرمل والحجر. لا إله إلا الله. عدد الزهر والثمر. لا إله إلا الله. عدد أنفاس البشر. لا إله إلا الله. عدد ذنوبنا حتى تغفر. لا إله إلا الله. عدد لمح العيون. لا إله إلا الله. عدد ما كان وما يكون. لا إله إلا الله. تعالى عما يشركون. لا إله إلا الله. خير مما يجمعون. لا إله إلا الله. في الليل إذا عسعس. لا إله إلا الله. في الصبح إذا تنفس. لا إله إلا الله. على الرياح في البرار والصخور. لا إله إلا الله. من يومنا هذا إلى يوم ينفخ في السور. لا إله إلا الله. عدد خلقه أجمعين. لا إله إلا الله. من يومنا هذا إلى يوم الدين. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. في كل لحظة أبدا عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. ما اتصلت العيون بالنظر وتزخرفت الأرضون بالمطر وحج حاج واعتمر ولبى وحلق ونحر وطاف بالبيت العتيق وقبل الحجر وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. ما اتصلت العيون بالنظر وتزخرفت الأرضون بالمطر وحج حاج واعتمر ولبى وحلق ونحر وطاف بالبيت العتيق وقبل الحجر وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. ما اتصلت العيون بالنظر وتزخرفت الأرضون بالمطر وحج حاج واعتمر ولبى وحلق ونحر وطاف بالبيت العتيق وقبل الحجر وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. في كل لحظة أبدا عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزينة عرشه ومداد كلماته. Okay, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Let us continue with our hadith and our story. So today is the last day of the class. We have no other class after. I mean, we can stop here. Then we can continue in December. Okay. Okay. So every time we have school holidays, we can continue the class. Okay. And because there's so many hadiths to do, right? So maybe in the school holidays again, December, okay, December school holidays. September, I think is too short, right? September school holidays is too short. And I think some of you have PSLE, some of you must be studying, right? Some of you have exams, final year exams, correct? So maybe we will do it again in December. Okay, in December we can have another round of hadiths. Okay, because so many hadiths in this collection, so many, so many. Yeah, well, because you all have school. You all have school and I have no other time to give you all except in the morning. So only when in the morning, when you all are at home in the morning, then I'll teach you this one, okay? But if you're at school, that is a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult. Okay, come. Let us read the hadith, okay? Tamam. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Okay, again. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Third time. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ثلاثة لا ترفع صلاتهم فوق رؤوسهم شبرا رجل أما قوما وهم له كارهون وامرأة باتت وزوجها عليها ساخط وأخوان متصارمان. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Let's read in English, okay? The Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, said, there are three types of prayers. There are three types of people whose prayer does not rise above their heads, even a handspan. Okay, who can tell me what does this mean? The prayer does not rise above their heads, even a handspan. That means it is? Who can remember what does it mean? The prayer doesn't rise above their heads, even a handspan. What does that mean? Who can tell me what does this mean? The prayer does not rise above their heads, even a handspan. Well done. It is not accepted, okay? Saya put bracket, okay? Not accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not accepted means Allah will not give the reward. Allah will not give the reward. And it's as if they did not even pray. Oh, it's written down for them as if they did not even pray. That's why they are punished. Because it's as if they didn't pray. Because it's not accepted. There's no records. Did they pray? No, the angel said no. They didn't pray. But when they will say, but we prayed. They say, where? Oh, it's still above their heads. It did not come up to paradise. The prayer didn't come to paradise. Why? There are 3 blocks. What are the 3 blocks that is blocking the prayer from coming up to paradise? What? The first one is a man who leads the people in prayer while they hate him. Oh, they don't like him. They dislike him. Why? Because maybe because he is arrogant, or he forced himself to be the leader, or maybe he says unkind things about them. Nobody likes him. And maybe he is not fair. He is not fair as a leader. So nobody likes him. But he forces himself to be their leader. And if anybody tries to fight him or not listen to him, he will punish them and throw them in jail, or do something that is very bad towards them. Right? These are bad people, okay? Like number one, right? And a leader can be anybody who is a leader, because even a father is a leader over his family. Even the older siblings are leaders over the younger siblings, right? And even in school, you can be leaders for your group. So if you may say, I am the leader of my football team, then you're not fair to people, and people don't like what you do, you become an unjust leader. Remember, the unjust leader, or the leader that is not fair, he is one of the seven people where? Do you remember not? There's a leader who is fair, Afwan. The leader who is fair, the fair leader. He is one of the seven people where? Do you remember? Do you remember where is this fair leader on the day of judgment?
Under Allah's
On the day of
throne.
judgment? Under Allah's throne. Well done. He is under the shade of Allah's throne. The fair leader, right? Allah loves leaders who are fair. And leaders that the people love them as their leaders. Wow, mashallah, mashallah. Under Allah's throne. Well done. Okay. A woman who goes to sleep at night while her husband is angry with her because of something she did wrong. Okay. This one is about the husband is angry and it's her fault. Okay. I'm not talking about the husband is angry and it's his fault. Okay. It's her fault. Allah is the judge, right? Will Allah know whose fault it is? Will Allah know or not whose fault it is? If people fight, will Allah know whose fault it is? But even if you fight, what should you do? You should still say sorry, right? Still say sorry and still make up for it and try to make things better. Okay. Okay, here Nabi Muhammad SAW said a woman, right, who goes to sleep at night while her husband is angry with her. Okay, I know all of you here are not married. You're all children, right? Your children here, you're not married. You have no husband, you have no wife, but you have parents. Correct or not? Right? All of you here, you have parents, right? Okay, so we will apply this hadith to our parents. Don't go to sleep at night while your parents are angry with you. And don't make your parents angry. Okay, as far as you can, don't make your parents angry. But don't end the day with your parents angry with you. You know what's a very good adab? What's a very good etiquette, very good manners? Before you go to bed, you go to your parents, you salam them, okay, kiss their hands, right? And then say, dua for me. You ask them dua for me, and you can say, are you happy with me today? Okay, ask your parents that, okay, before you sleep tonight, everybody, homework. At night, there's homework. But the homework is doing something. In Tarim, there is a primary school here that their homework is doing things. Doing good things is their homework. Not writing down things on paper, you know. They also have that kind of homework, but they have doing things is also their homework. Like now in the Hijjah, fasting every day is their homework. Fasting the first 9 days of the Hijjah is their homework. And they are primary school, you know. And now also every day to say La ilaha illallah ala layali wa duhur 10 times is also their homework. Their homework is doing things. It's amazing. I think it's awesome. It's a good idea to make homework, you know, to make your akhlaq better. So I'm going to give you all homework, right? Homework on this hadith. So the first homework is tonight before you sleep, you go to your parents, you kiss their hands, okay? You kiss their hands. You know, before that, before you go to your parents, you check the whole house. Is the house neat and clean? Okay, before you go to bed, you go around, you look around. Are the books all on the shelves? Are the toys kept away in their drawers, in their boxes? Is the house neat and clean? Like is the couch in the hall all neaten up? The pillows are all on top. So you check the whole house first. Okay, check the whole house first. Last time when I was in Singapore, until now my job is before every night must go to the kitchen and check the whole kitchen is okay, and then wash all the plates. You will see your mothers do that, right? At night, they will go to the kitchen and they will clean up the whole kitchen, correct? Maybe tonight you should do it. Instead of your mother doing it, right? You should do it. You should go and clean up the whole kitchen, right? Or clean up the whole hall. So after you clean everything, then you go to your parents, right? You kiss their hands, Then you ask them, okay, remember your homework, okay, remember your homework. And you ask them, are you happy with me today? Is there anything you can advise me for me to improve? Okay, sincerely ask your parents, okay, kiss their hands, ask them, are you happy with me today? Is there anything that you can advise me so I can improve? All promise, all of you promise already, you're going to do with your parents, okay? And then whatever your parents say, yes, you can improve by, and then whatever they say, by waking up earlier. Or your parents will say, by uh, uh, helping me do something, right? Maybe your parents will say that, right? Okay, and then you seek their forgiveness. So I'm so sorry for anything wrong that I did today. Please forgive me. Okay, right? And so when you sleep, your parents have no displeasure. They're not upset with you at all. They're happy with you. I'm sure they'll be very happy with you. Right? And when you sleep and your parents are happy with you, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is happy with you. When Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is happy with you, Allah is happy with you. So you sleep in a very nice way. Then the angels will come close to you. And inshallah, if you keep saying salawat before you sleep, you salawat, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, and you slawat before you sleep. Inshallah, you will see Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in your dreams, and Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu will stroke your head, inshallah, and you kiss his hand, inshallah. Right? It's not impossible. It's not impossible. And you kiss his hand, and he says, well done. I'm so proud of you. You made your parents so happy. Okay, inshallah. He will come to you all, inshallah. Okay, number 3, two brothers or sisters or siblings or any Muslims who have cut off from each other. Oh, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. They are fighting. That's why they are fighting and they're angry with each other and they're not talking to one another. Oh, astaghfirullah. Azim. So your homework for number 3 is, say from today onwards, as far as I can, I will not fight with another Muslim. Okay? As far as I can. I will not fight with another Muslim. I will not argue with them. If they want to argue with me or they want to fight with me, I will just give in and I will do something else. Okay? Just give in, keep quiet, and do something else. Like Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he will never engage in argument. He will not argue with people. Okay, come. Let us, why is that so big? Let us continue our story about this woman. So remember yesterday's story? The woman, her husband wanted to go somewhere overseas travel, and then he said to her, oh, my wife, stay at home until I come back because it's just safer, right? It's safer to stay at home. Don't go out. There are people who might disturb you if you go out. Yesterday, I left my house at night with my husband, and I was walking to go and get something late at night to go and collect something from somebody else's house, right? And I was walking and walking, and I saw so many men in the streets, and they're just in the streets, they're hanging out, they're sticking their groups, they're drinking coffee and everything. And then I told my husband, I'm so happy you're next to me. I don't think I want to go anywhere without my husband next to me. So many men on the streets, right? When your husband is there, or when your father is there, right? When your father or your husband is there, you feel much safer. Or your brother is there, right? For women, right? When a man is there, you feel much safer. Sometimes when you walk home, I know you're children, you all don't go home alone by yourself. But when you grow older, sometimes like in Singapore, I walk home by myself, and there's nobody around me. My husband's not there, or my brother is not there, or my father is not there. And you walk past some men, like a group of men, it can be quite scary, right? And you're wondering, like maybe they might follow you, or maybe they might disturb you, or maybe they might follow you, right? It's always better to have like somebody there to protect you. So the husband is like that. The husband of this woman said, oh, my wife, don't go out, okay? Don't go out when I'm gone. Stay at home. All right, stay at home until I come back, right? And inshallah, you'll be safe. There is somebody who will come here and send you food every day. So don't worry about it. Okay. So wife said, okay. And she had no problem staying at home. She had no problem staying at home. But then her father fell sick. Oh, her father was not well. And somebody from her house came to her and said, oh woman, your father's not well. Come over and see your father. But the woman said, my husband said, I cannot leave my house. Is this woman an obedient woman to her husband? Or is she disobedient? Is she obedient or disobedient? She says, sorry, right? She is obedient to her husband, correct? She's obedient. So she says, I can't leave my house. My husband said not to leave the house. I cannot leave the house. Then the lady said, but it's your father. He's sick and the house is just next door. It's just here. Don't have to go so far. It is a few steps from your house to your father's house, right? But she said, but my husband's instruction was don't leave the house. Then they said, okay, how about we ask Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This happened in the time of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, how about we ask Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about this? So the other woman went to ask Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about it, and Rasulullah sallallahu said, obey your husband and stay at home. There's always something special about obedience, okay? Allah will give her better when she obeys her husband. And dua for your father in your house. Dua for your father. Okay, so after some time, the same person came again. And the person said, oh woman, is your husband back? And she said, no, he's not back yet. Why? And the woman said, oh, terrible news. Your father is really, really, really sick. He's so very, 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 very sick. I think you better go and see him now. He's extreme, he's very sick. And the woman said, but you know, my husband said not to leave the house. I can't leave the house. Then the other woman said, maybe we should ask Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam if you can leave your house now because your father is very sick, very, 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 very sick, right? So she went to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam again and said, Ya Rasulullah, the woman's father, father and not husband, father, the woman's father now is very, 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 very sick. Can she just go for a very short while to see him? And then Rasulullah said, tell her to obey her husband. Okay, obey her husband and stay at home. Oh, she still has to obey her husband because that's the last thing the husband said. Then she went back and said to a woman, oh woman, I'm so sorry. Rasulullah said, you must obey your husband. Okay, stay at home. I will just send your salams to your father and you dua for him, okay? You dua for your father. And after some time, the woman came and she said, oh, oh woman, really bad news right now. Really, really bad news. Said, what? What happened now? Your father is going to die. He's on his deathbed. He's very, 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 very sick. And I don't think he's going to live very long. He's breathing very heavily. And we think he's going to die soon. You better see your father right now, right? Because I don't think he's going to survive. I don't think he's going to get better. He looks like he's going to die. And then, oh, the father, right, is very sick. And the woman said, you know my situation, you know what's going on with me, right? And you know that I can't leave my house. My husband said stay at home. And then the woman said, I will ask Nabi Muhammad SAW now, can you come out? Right. So she went to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right, and asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, oh Ya Rasulullah, the woman's father is now on his deathbed. He is going to die. Can she see her father one last time before he dies? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what? What do you think he said now? What do you think he said? The father's going to die already. He said, obey your husband and stay at home. Obey your husband and stay at home. Oh, obey, listen to your husband. It's so difficult. And after some time, the father died. The father died. The father died, and the woman came. Oh woman, your father has passed away. And she said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And she began to cry. My father passed away without me seeing my father. I didn't see my father at all. He's passed away. Yes. And the woman said, do you want to come and see him now? I come and see him. He has passed away. At least say goodbye. I say goodbye to him. He has passed away. We're going to bring him to the graveyard and we're going to bury him. And the woman said, ask Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, can I go? Can I go and see my father one last time before they bring him to the graveyard? And she, okay, I'll ask him. Maybe now he will say okay. So she went to ask Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, obey your husband and don't leave your house. Listen to your husband. Yes. Listen to your husband. She said, I can't go. My husband's not home yet. I can't go. And so they took the father away and they buried the father in the graveyard. And the woman sat at home and she dua and dua and dua for her father. The next day, at the masjid of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his masjid, this is masjid, okay? At the masjid of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he got onto his mimbar. You know what's a mimbar, right? That is a platform where Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would always stand on to talk to people. It has three steps. And yeah, like that. Okay. So Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he got onto the mimbar. He stood on the mimbar. Right? And all the people were there. And he said, yesterday, a man passed away. One of the men amongst the Muslims away, right? It was the woman's father, right? Yesterday, a man passed away amongst the Muslims. And Rasulullah said, and Allah has informed me that this man's sins, all of his sins, are forgiven. You all know why? Why are all these men's sins forgiven? This man had all his sins forgiven because Allah is happy with his daughter who was obedient to her husband. By her daughter's obedience to her husband, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave this man, the father, right, of all of his sins and put him in paradise. The father is now in paradise. Because why? Because of who? Because Allah is happy with the daughter for being so obedient to her husband that the father benefited. The father was forgiven completely for all of his sins, and the father was placed in the highest parts in paradise because of the barakah, of the blessing of an obedient daughter. MashaAllah, right? MashaAllah. And the news reached the woman. Oh woman, oh woman, oh woman. The woman who was there heard. And she went to her friend and she said, oh woman, oh woman, oh woman, good news, good news. And she said, what's the good news? My father passed away and I did not even get to see him. What's the good news? And the other woman said, let me show you the other picture, okay? She went to the other person. I'm actually showing this. And got a lot of people in the masjid, okay? A lot of people in the masjid. She went to her and she said, oh person, good news, good news. They said, what's the good news? My father passed away and I didn't even get to see him. And the other person said, good news, because we just heard that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that your father has been forgiven all of his sins and placed in paradise because of your obedience to your father, to your husband. Because of your obedience to your husband, I erase a tears, okay? Because of your obedience to your husband, Allah forgave your father all of his sins and put him in paradise. And she said, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. You see, if this woman went against her husband, right, and did not obey, what will happen? She will just go to her father's house, see the father, and then go back, right? Will she help the father in any way? Can she help? The father is sick. She usually can't help, right? And when the father passed away, can she help? No, she can't do anything at all, right? She just goes there, sees him, and comes back. But when she obeyed her husband, her obedience helped the father. How? Because the father's sins to be all forgiven, and the father is in paradise because of the barakah of the girl who obeyed her husband. MashaAllah, right? So when you think, I must obey my mother, I must obey my father, then you think to yourself, but must I really obey? Must I really do what they say? Must I? Then you think to yourself, no, no, no. You must obey them, right? You must obey them because you don't know what is the barakah. What are the blessings Allah will give you because you are obedient to your parents. MashaAllah, right? MashaAllah. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Mm, okay, I think we can stop here for today. So I don't want to tell a halfway story that I have to stop class for today, okay? So I won't go into a new story, but I will just recap all the stories, okay? And put down the lessons for all the stories. Okay, the first story is about the two brothers, right? The first story is about adab, right? Adab. The one who has adab, Allah will give them more. It was about the two brothers who were going to memorize Quran, and one of them had the full adab, right? He had Ahmad, right? Ahmad had wudu, he had siwak, he was facing the qibla, his aurat was covered, and he was wearing his songko, right? But his other brother did not have the same adab. So when they read their surahs to the sheikh, the first brother could only read 5 pages, and the other brother could read 15 pages to the sheikh. MashaAllah, right? There's the first story. The lesson is, what's the lesson? The one who has adab will gain more. Right? Allah gives more to those with adab, with good etiquette. Okay, next story. Next story is about Sayyidina Abu Hurairah. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, we spoke about Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, right? Because the man, this is what the story was, what story was it about? Oh yes, I remember. I remember. Right, because Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, I will tell you about Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, right? Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, right, was from a tribe, right, where one of the leaders, a leader became a Muslim, then he called others to become Islam, then he didn't want to become a Muslim, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, dua against them. And Nabi Muhammad said, Ya Allah, please guide those and bring them to Islam. And one of them is Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, right, who has a kitten in his sleeve. And he is the one who memorized so much from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mashallah, right? And so many stories, okay, so many stories. There's Imam Abu, this is Imam Malik, remember Imam Malik, whenever he would come and talk about Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and read the hadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would bathe, he would wear his best clothes, he would take his siwak, right? And he would read the words of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the first story about intention, y'all remember or not? Later I'm going to do a quiz, And do a quiz, inshallah. I haven't do yet. I'm still very busy. But inshallah, I can do a quiz and you can answer the questions, right? So must remember all the stories about the man who had a good intention. His people were all suffering from hunger, and he walked past a mountain, right? And he said, if I if I had food the size of this mountain, I will give it to my people. Then on the day of judgment, he saw, he has the rewards as if he gave out a mountain of good deeds to the people. Where this come from, Ya Allah? And Allah said, because you made niyat, right? You made a good intention. So the whole mountain of good deeds is for you. I didn't do it, Ya Allah, but you intended to do it. So you got it. MashaAllah, right? And then I told you about the story about the first three people to be thrown into the hellfire. Who are these people? They do things not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but because they want other people to praise them. And so the first one memorize the Quran only because they want people to praise them. The second one give money to the poor, but because he only wanted people to praise him. And the last one, he fought in the way of Allah, but because he only wanted praises. They are the first people to go into the hellfire because they didn't do all of these things for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so many stories. So many stories, right? All these stories and all these stories and all these stories. So many stories. So inshallah, see so many stories? Inshallah, in December, we can continue, okay? Inshallah, I will try my best to continue in December, okay? See so many stories we told today. I have how many slides of stories? I have almost, today we reached how many slides? How many slides? How many slides today we reached? Oh wow, mashallah. I kept all the stories. 69 slides. 69 slides. Okay, we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for attending. Let us do our start. Okay. Allahumma salli afdala salawatika ala as'adi makhluqatika habibillah Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim adada ma'lumatika wa kalimatika كلما ذكرك وذكره الذاكرون وغفل عن ذكرك وذكر الغافلون اللهم صل أفضل صلواتك على أسعد المخلوقاتك حبيب الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أرنا معلوماتك من كلماتك كلما ذكرك وذكره الذاكرون وغفل عن ذكرك وذكر الغافلون اللهم صل أفضل صلواتك على أسعد المخلوقاتك حبيب الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم عدد معلوماتك من كلماتك كلما ذكرك وذكره الذاكرون وغفل عن ذكرك وذكر الغافلون في كل لحظة أبدا عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته الفاتحة أن الله يرزقنا منافع والعمل خالص وإلى أرواح معلمنا ومشايخنا وذوي الحق علينا وإلى حضرة النبي محمد